family-owned shop in Loganville, Soesby's Garage for all your automotive repair needs. We service all makes and models, foreign and domestic. We repair engines, alternators, brakes, alignments, AC systems, and more, using certified technicians with over 90 years of combined experience. We also offer same-day service for some repairs. Soesby's Garage, 200 Bay Creek Road in Loganville. Dependable, honest, and fair. Look us up on Google or Facebook. We'll take good care of you.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. We are the cornerstone of security in the Southeast.
Hey everyone, welcome to Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. Once again, I'm your host, Rick Strawn, the president of Paradigm Security Services. We're excited to be with you today on Business Radio X. We're coming to you from the Subaru of Gwinnett Atlanta studio. We're located in the beautiful Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel in Duluth, Georgia. Each week we plan to feature businesses in the Atlanta area, especially those that serve Gwinnett County. While all businesses have security concerns, not all are about physical security, and we're going to touch on that and all related aspects of security through the course of the show. Our guest today, I'm very happy to have Mr. Randy Winfield. He's president and broker of the Winfield Realty Group. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about security, kind of touch the gambit on some things and kind of let the thing. But before we get started, you know, some people may not really know who Randy Winfield is. Who is Randy Winfield? Where'd you come from? How'd you get into this?
Well, I was originally born outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Moved down here when I was a junior in high school. Went to work in a couple different jobs, got in corporate America, and while I was in corporate America, I actually hand wrote a contract on a coffee table on carbon paper for those of you old enough to know what carbon paper is.
I remember it well, all my hands and everything.
That's right. You press real hard on make 5 copies, and I actually hand wrote a contract and took it to an attorney, and after we were done closing the deal, he said, "Who wrote this contract?" I said, "I did." He said, "This is better than most real estate agents I've seen." So I kind of dabbled in that, and it kind of stuck with me. And so when I transitioned out of corporate America through a big downsizing, I jumped right into real estate and never looked back.
Sounds good. How long did it take you to get your license?
Licensing was fairly quick. I got it in just a few months, study, and got the license and jumped in and got my broker's license as soon as I possibly could, and been broker ever since.
Yeah, I was a real estate agent for a short period of time way back when. Going to do real estate on the side while I was being a cop. Figured out real quick, that's not a sideline. If you can't put everything into it and put your heart into it and all your time, I wish I'd never let it lapse, but I did. So, of course, now I could use it. Well, so where'd you go to high school? Just
Clarkston High School over in DeKalb County.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you are, at least you got some of the local part in you.
I do.
I know you're a Southern boy now. I can tell you that.
No doubt.
Let's get into the real estate stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is done on the internet now. A lot of advertising, a lot of promotion, a lot of people searching. I mean, that's the way it's done for the most part. At least started now. Let's talk a little bit about the iBuyers.
So we're seeing a lot of press, and iBuyers is a term I just use out there generically that would be, you've heard all the big names, an Open Door, a Knock, those type of companies that are right now really prevalent, pushing really hard, doing a lot of advertising, saying, hey, we'll buy your house, we'll make it easy. And they do make it easy for the folks, but the things that it's always caveat emptor, buyer beware, or in this case, seller beware. There's a lot of pitfalls that come with that. There is a price to pay. They do not charge a commission, which is interesting, but they do charge a fee, and their fees range typically anywhere from 6% up to 18% before repairs.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So there's a lot of money that folks are leaving on the table, and I've seen actual offers that they've made to folks because it's affected my clients I was working for to sell their property. And in the end, we end up netting my particular client in one case over $35,000 more.
Well, not only that, but a lot of times they talk about some of these places will buy your home, and you got to stop and think. If they're going to buy my home, why are they just throwing a number out there? Obviously you're taking quite a big hit is what you're going to take in order to sell your home that way.
You're paying for the convenience.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. And folks, they're taking their comp values and assigning their comp values to your home, and you've just got to trust that they're doing the right thing by you, but they may or may not be. They're looking out for their own interests. They're not looking out for yours.
They're in to make a profit. They're in a business, like
Absolutely.
any other business, and you're the person that's paying their profit.
Exactly, and you got to figure the way they're doing their business, they're probably making, and this is just some
Just
stuff
rough.
that I've seen rough estimate. They're probably making in the neighborhood of about 20% APR per month.
Wow.
So it's a huge business, a huge
hit.
opportunity, a lot of upside for them, and very little downside. The thing that where most people get caught on it is they will not understand that when they go through an inspection process with these iBuyer companies, the iBuyer companies hire their own inspectors and send them out, and they don't miss anything, and they itemize for every little item that needs repair. And if your roof is within a few years needing replaced, they're going to deduct value, and they take it right off the price. So it's a lot of people get really surprised by that. So, and by that point, you're too deep in to back out.
They start marking stuff off in a hurry.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know that going through that, what I think a lot of people don't realize is you miss that personal interaction, you miss that personal contact, and you miss that. If you get someone that is an individual realtor such as yourself or one of your people or a broker, you get that personal contact, and you find somebody that cares about how you're treated, how it's going.
Right.
And we hear buyers agents, sellers agents, and the reality is most all of them are sellers agents. But the thing is, you can get sellers agents that care about the buyer.
Absolutely. The way the market used to be, it used to be that the agent who listed the property represented the seller and the buyer at the same time.
Right.
Now we've created brokerage arrangements where the listing agent represents the seller, the buyer's agent represents the buyer. But the point you make is a very valid point, is having somebody that's invested and cares about you to try to net you the most dollars that are within the market value range of your house. You've got an advocate for you. That's the key, is you have somebody in your corner, not somebody that's looking out solely to make a bottom line profit. You have somebody that's advocating for you and looking out for you and helping you navigate through the waters.
Well, and the important thing too is to get honest feedback from these people, not to try to blow smoke and tell you, hey, I can get you all this much extra money, just let me keep working on it. And knowing all the time that, this house, the reality is this is what it's worth. This is what you're going to get. We may be able to get a little bit more, but the reality of it is once you set a price, you're probably going to get a little bit less in your negotiation part.
Exactly. We try to be very realistic and direct with our clients. There are people out there that will list very high and then try to come back and get you to continually reduce the price. The best agents price it at the market and advise our clients, look, this is a realistic price. It's not underpriced. It's not overpriced. And that's going to get you the maximum dollars. That's going to get you the maximum dollars return.
Yeah, don't get nervous and think, well, I got to get this done or we're not going to relax.
Exactly.
We'll get it done. So, there's a lot of talk about radon gas. There's people is it bad? Is it not so bad? How bad is it?
There's a lot of misinformation about radon gas. So radon gas is an odorless, colorless gas that can cause lung cancer. It's actually the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States behind cigarette smoking. Radon gas is a very serious problem, and it's prevalent in Georgia. The weird thing about radon gas is you could have real high levels of radon gas at your house, next door neighbor be fine, a house across the street not have any, and 2 houses down they have high levels of radon. So it's very random. And a lot of people say, well, my neighbor had it tested, I'm okay. Well, no, you're not. You need to have your home tested. Your health and your safety, it's not worth risking that. And You want an agent who understands radon and doesn't sweep it under the rug, and also has reputable vendors, if you will, contractors who come in, should you have high levels of radon, to be able to mitigate that. I just had a situation up at Village of Deaton Creek, some folks buying a retirement home. Wonderful folks, radon levels came in just a touch over. We got the seller to pay for a radon mitigation system, got a reputable company in there that I trust, did the work, and got their levels below recommended level. So radon gas, if you haven't had it done, you can go to Home Depot and get a test. You can actually reach out to our company. I'll provide you a free radon test kit for your house. I just recommend everybody does it.
Well, and one of the misconceptions on radon is you can put it in there, leave it for a very short period of time. It'll tell you and give you reads, and that's what it is. The radon testers, to really be accurate, need to be left in there for a considerable length of time to where they really register the true count of the radon.
Right. There's a short-term test and a long-term test. The short-term test is, 48, 72 hours, right? And
have
it
you
gives
got it?
Yeah,
you do.
Exactly.
Just about everybody has some radon.
And it's actually a naturally occurring thing out in the environment.
Absolutely.
Just walking around, you have it. And the reason why it doesn't affect us is because the air dissipates it. So it's just what level do you have, right?
Exactly.
And a longer-term test is going to tell you a little bit more accurate of where you stand.
So I guess the moral of that story is find you a reputable person. Don't say, this is on the internet. Hey, let me get this. Let me stick it in my house, and we'll see what we got. Because to be honest with you, that really doesn't really tell you the story. You can, listen to the show on WSB on Sunday, and they talk about radon every once in a while, and they'll tell you real quick that's not the way to go. But get you a reputable person, come out there, do it the right way, and then deal with it the right way.
Exactly.
Well, what about, as people go through, their life, you got the millennials, you've got the young people, you got the middle-aged people, you got the old people. As life changes, that affects real estate. It affects what you do. It affects what you want. It also affects the real estate itself. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, Rick. We all go through phases in life, whether, you graduate college and most of us will get a job, move into an apartment, then you get married, and you kind of start taking that path, and eventually you move into a house. Well, for people that have school-age children, typically once they get out of school, they start thinking about, okay, what's our next move? Where do we go? Do we
downsize? Do we upsize? What do we do? Do we get out of it? Do we go to a retirement home?
Exactly. Or you have senior parents that we all know, friends right here that have senior parents that are talking about moving in with them.
Yep.
Or you have senior parents, as the clients I just was referring to, that are moving from their house that they've been in for 48 years, and they're getting up there in age, and they want to be in a one-level house, but they want to be close to family. So all these life changes tend to be triggers. So as you're thinking and going through your day-to-day life, and you think about kind of where you're at, those are all triggers that may be something to consider. Hey, does this affect where I'm at in my home? Is it time to sell? Is it time to make an investment? Is it time to bring parents in, sell their house, finish out the basement for them? Kids are moving off to college and getting married. Maybe it's time to downsize. We all have friends that have the real big houses, and quite honestly, I did that not too long ago myself. I had a big house, and it was just me, so
it's too big.
It's too big. I didn't need all that space, so I boiled it down and got real simple, and it's great. I love it.
Well, when you're looking at that, if a person says, I want something to change, I just don't know what, what would you suggest would be their first step?
It's take an inventory of where you're at, what rooms do you use, and really give that a lot of thought. And that's kind of the process I went through. I looked at, what are my needs? What rooms do I use? How often do I entertain? What kind of entertainment space do I need? And what rooms don't I use? If you want to sit down and explore, we're happy to sit down and have that conversation with you guys, whoever it is, and just kind of walk through it and just talk about different options. Because a lot of people, what I find, are not fully informed of what options might be open to them.
Yeah, and I think just giving someone a call and getting some feedback, bouncing it off, that's probably one of the best things that a person can do.
Absolutely.
And they need to do it with somebody that knows what they're talking about and understands the whole idea and the concept of getting into a different place.
Right.
One of the things that a lot of people talk about is the home market value versus appraisal value versus insured value. That's a lot of stuff. What's the difference? How does it all play into what you're looking at for your actual value of your home?
A lot of people think that it's all one and the same, where the tax value, for example, well, that's the value of my house. Well, not necessarily.
That's what they think the value of your house is.
What the county thinks the value of your house is typically a lot more than what we'd like to think it is. The market value, that's what the market would bring if you sold your house tomorrow. Insured value, you have to be aware of this one too, because this is where a lot of people get caught. They'll say, well, I paid $200,000 for my house, $400,000, $500,000, whatever that number would be. So they go to their insurance agent, and the insurance agent goes, okay, we'll insure it for $500,000. Well, if you don't have a replacement cost coverage policy, guess what happens? If
They
your
go on
house
market value.
Yeah, that house burns down, it's going to cost a lot more to rebuild it. Have a friend of mine had about a $750,000 house. It burned down. Had he not had a replacement cost value coverage on his policy, it would have cost him $750,000 out of his pocket. It cost $1.5 million to tear his house apart and rebuild it back.
Wow. That's a big difference.
It would have come out of his pocket.
Well, and you have to figure that what it costs to redo stuff now is a lot different than what it cost when it was built.
Exactly.
So that's going to make a big difference. The Best Gwinnett Daily Post Reader's Choice Awards 5-star award. That's a lot of stuff. Is that you got anything? That's all the stuff that you've been managed to accumulate so far. That's a lot of awards.
Yeah, we're very honored to have been selected for those. The Best of Gwinnett, we've had that. It's probably been about 12 years now, off and on. We're very proud of that. The Gwinnett Daily Post, we've gotten that. Our folks have worked really hard to help get us to that point. And the
5-star,
the 5-star one, that one it's a funny story. Several years ago, we've gotten it twice. And I'm hoping that we were able to pick up another year. But it's one of those awards you can't apply for, and you really can't self-nominate. I got a call several years ago, and they said, hey, we're from the 5-star program. You've won an award. And I was like, okay, yeah, thanks for calling. I said, I appreciate your time, but, I don't have time to listen to
I know you're trying to
sell me something. So I hung up. They called me back. And I said,
no, really?
Yeah, no, really, we got something. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I really don't have time. They called me back and said, we're really not trying to sell you something. You really won an award, and they explained it to me. And I was very honored. It's an award that gets awarded to typically about the top 2 or 3% of agents, real estate agents, and they do insurance agents as well, for customer service satisfaction, and they base it on surveys from client deals, and you have to meet certain volumes and things like that. So I was very honored that we'd gotten that award.
That's fantastic. I know we've Paradigm's gotten the Best of Gwinnett here the last couple of years, and I'm very honored to get that. Last year I just received something in the mail that said y'all won. So it's awesome. It
is an awesome thing, and it makes you feel like hey, what you're doing is the right thing, and people recognize that. And and it's nice because it's kind of it's another way to vet yourself, and look how you rank versus someone else. So it's just one of those verification stamps, if you will, that when people are looking for a good security company, and you've got that, no one else got it. Well, they don't have it.
Exactly, and same way with real estate. We won the Pinnacle Award and being best business and stuff like that, and for our size and by the chamber, and those kind of awards where you don't throw it out there and tout them a lot and all that. They make you feel good that somebody recognizes that, hey, what you're doing, people appreciate.
Absolutely, and it's recognition for your hard work and kind of the quality of your business.
Absolutely. I know one of the things that, of course, is on my mind is security.
Yes.
And I know you're reading at times about somebody that goes in, real estate agent goes into a house, somebody assaults them, kills them, rapes them, whatever they do. But, that's a big deal. A lot of people jump at the chance to just run out and show something. And I know from a security standpoint, there's a lot of things that you need to take into consideration, vetting people. How does Winfield Realty, how do you talk to your people, and are there any suggestions that you would give other people that are in the real estate, or even just people that are wanting to show their homes, before they start bringing people that they don't know into their homes for security reasons?
Exactly. This is a huge problem. It's a huge safety thing. The first thing that I tell people, particularly agents and anybody else that'll listen to me, selling your home is not worth putting yourself and your family at risk. People that aren't vetted can come in and cause you personal harm, cause your family personal harm, or for that matter, if they're not vetted, maybe they're casing your place to come back later and decide what they're going to steal. It's not worth it. I tell folks, look, as far as agents go, you get that phone call, invest a few minutes of time. If they're a serious buyer, they're going to be willing to engage you in conversation. They're going to be willing to answer some probing questions. They're going to be willing to show their true intent. Okay, now, hey, even the best criminal could probably get through that. But we take it one step further and tell them, say, look, if you're not getting the right answers and they're pushing for a showing and they're not giving you the right answer, just say you can't do it. But for the people that do answer the right questions and continue to pass that vetting process of the probing questions to find out their seriousness level, I tell them, say, look, snap a photo of your driver's license and text it to me. That way I'll know who I'm meeting. My broker requires that before I go out and show property.
Very good idea.
If they don't show it and they don't provide it, don't go.
Well, I think people that are really interested and they're in the right mindset, they're in the right reason for doing this, they appreciate getting vetted. Mm-hmm. They appreciate it because they don't want to have a problem with someone supposedly got their house up and they get over there and it's a sham on that end too.
Right. It's for their own safety as well, so that they can know who they're meeting with. You know who they're meeting with. I always tell our sellers too. So look, just because we have your house up for sale, doesn't mean somebody isn't bold enough to come knock on the door and say, "Can I see your house?" I said, in no uncertain circumstance do you let them in under any reason.
Absolutely.
For no reason at all.
That is totally unvetted. It's totally. You're putting yourself at risk real quick on that, and true, 99.9% of the people may be absolutely legit, but if they are, they'll come back after a phone call or doing it the right way.
Exactly.
If they're not legit, you'll never hear from them again, and you're safe.
They're looking for a soft, vulnerable target and somebody that's at a weak moment that they can exploit. And if they can do it, they're going to do it.
Absolutely. That's the nature of crime, is looking for victims. And they look for places that are accessible, places that are easy. So just like in a parking lot or anything, they look for places that they're least likely to get caught.
Yeah.
That's why when you're out at different places, you have security officers that are on patrol. They look at that and they think, I'll just go down the street where they don't have one. You got construction sites, they have no security. We'll hit them because that guy's got security, and the chances are he's going to call the cops if I don't, if I don't leave. So I'll go over here where nobody will bother me and I can steal all I want.
And from your years in the police force and your security business, you get it. You understand it. They definitely are looking for
opportunity.
Opportunity in the easiest, quickest path.
Yep.
And if they can do it, they're going to do it.
They don't want to go to jail. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. But now we're going to talk about something that I know is close to your heart, and it's mine as well. I love doing stuff for the Hudgens Art Center, the Art and Learning. You're a board member there.
Yes, I'm the chair of the board. Yes, sir.
And that is something that is really big. We were talking about it before we went on air. The thing that amazes me about the Hudgens is they have so much good stuff that they do. with the help of their volunteers and everything else, and their art projects, working with kids, working with older adults, working with other people, the middle-aged adults, just people that want to do stuff with the arts and learn things. But people don't know that it's over there. It sits in the shadow up under the Infinite Energy Center, and nobody knows it's there except the people that know it's there, which is not a big enough group of people.
It is truly one of Gwinnett County's hidden gems. We have galleries, we have classroom space, studio space, and we have some great exhibits to come through. We have a healing arts program that we're in partnership with the hospitals, and for people going through cancer. We have a SMART program for high school age artists to get involved. We have a renowned pottery ceramics program, and we're busting at the seams, and the people that have discovered us are like, wow, this is great. I wish I'd have known this was here earlier. And so you're right, it is a hidden gem, and we are working real hard at getting the word out. As a matter of fact, at the end of a couple months, about 2 months from now, October 5th, mark your calendars, we have our Hudgens Prize Award Party. It's one of the largest prizes awarded in the region. And when I say the region, like the Southeast, it's a $50,000 prize award that we will be awarding that night on Saturday, October 5th at our party. It's a Casablanca, Tropicana type feel. We've got a Latin Cuban band coming. We have a casino night. We've got a live auction, silent auction, some great items on the live auction. It is going to be one of those parties that you don't want to miss. And the fact that we've got all this excitement building up, we have 4 art finalists. One of them is going to be selected that night and given a check for $50,000. That
is a heck of a gift. $50,000. A young artist can do a lot of stuff with $50,000.
Absolutely, it is very impactful. And I used to think it's not that impactful, but it really, truly is. It makes a difference in these people's lives. And that's the thing that I can tell you the Hudgens Art Center does, is we change lives through art. If you just take any one program and look at it, it's very impactful. And the one that strikes me, because it's close to home, I've had several incidents of family members who had cancer. So we have this healing arts program. That takes people out of where they're at for the moment and allows them to just do something enjoyable and create some art and express themselves through it. And it's impactful. It's very emotional for these people.
It gets them out of their headspace.
Exactly.
Anyone that has an addiction or a disease like cancer or stuff, they spend a lot of time in their head, and that's a dangerous playground. Yeah. And they spend a lot of time in there thinking about, well, what if, or what's going to happen, or what, why me? There's just a lot of thoughts that go through your mind. Be able to put something down and do it on canvas. I've done some artwork on canvas before, and being able to do that, your focus is all right there. It's on the artwork. You're not thinking about anything else except what's the next stroke going to look like, or how am I going to get this effect,
exactly.
Or that kind of. And I've talked to people the last few years that said, I wish that I'd have known that Hudgens had this stuff when I had the smaller kids.
Yeah.
And I was coming up, because this would have been great. They would have loved it. They can come over here. They can take classes in the summertime. Keeps them out of trouble.
Right.
And they have fun.
Exactly. And we have a Toddler Friday program geared just toward toddlers. We have you can sign up for classes online. There's a variety of different classes you can take, and it cover all age ranges. So that's the great thing.
Yeah, and like I say, it's something that helps get you out of your own spaces and just get you to where you meet some interesting people around art.
Oh yes, you do, all kinds.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've met some. I started to say strange people, but that would fit my category. But some very interesting people that do artwork. Well, and I know Paradigm is going to be working. We're helping out over there. We're going to donate a couple of people to help out at the Hudgens for this party.
Yes, and we appreciate that. It's great. With any party, they're just having that extra level of security again for the folks, and the safety of the folks there is important to us, and we want people to to come and just enjoy and relax and not have to worry. And we appreciate Paradigm partnering with us and sponsoring to do that for us.
We enjoy it, and it's the least that we can do, and it's a great activity that you've got and a great reason for doing it. And I'm losing the word, but the purpose is there, and it's going to be an interesting. Plus, it's going to be kind of a fun thing.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. This party, we have a few surprises and tricks up our sleeve. It's going to be the one party that, after it's done, that we believe people that come will leave and go, wow.
I'm coming back next year.
I will be there next year. That was a great event.
Well, one of the things that I know the Hudgens can use are volunteers.
Yes.
But I know even more, they can use some donations to try to help get this project going, to help build a bigger, better Hudgens. And I know that y'all are doing that. If somebody wants to reach out and get in touch with the Hudgens, we'll talk about real estate in a second. But for the Hudgens, what would they do to reach out if they want to take a look at it and see see if this is something they might like to invest a little of their give back to?
If they're interested, they can go to the HudgensCenter.org. They can Google the Hudgens Art Center and contact the main number. They can reach out to me at 404-569-3020. Leave me a message, and we'll be glad to set up an appointment, get you in there, get a tour, discuss whatever partnerships and sponsorship opportunities there might be. We have some great plans, and we're busting at the seams, and we need more space, and we need to reconfigure what we have. And quite honestly, we want to make our building iconic and create a maybe a big art piece that goes up on the roof that kind of makes it easier for people to find us.
Well, and that's the big thing. We need to make it easier to find. People need to know you're there and what you got, and need to get that message out, right?
Yeah, we're working on it.
I know you are. Well, when it comes to real estate, I know that you've got a great company. I know you care about your people. You care about the people you deal with. Somebody wants to get in touch with you and talk to you about, what can I do now? Just talk to you about real estate. What do they do? Where's the address, phone numbers?
Okay, they can go on the web, WinfieldRealtyGroup.com. and call our office, 678-430-3600. I'll give you my personal cell phone as well, 404-569-3020. Any one of those ways, you can learn a little bit more about us, reach out to us, and be happy to have a confidential conversation with you.
Well, fantastic. I appreciate you being on here. And I want to put a little plug in for one of my sponsors here, for Sotheby's Garage. And, they're family-owned. They're a local automotive shop in Loganville. And they are here to repair all of your automobile needs. And, we now have a fleet of 14 vehicles, 14. I'm losing count here. We're fixing to buy another one. But out of those vehicles, I've got to find somebody that's honest and somebody that deals straight with me.
Absolutely.
And I've found that with John Soseby. So Sotheby's Garage, 200 Bay Creek Road, Suite 200, Loganville, Georgia, 30052. Give Big John a call at 678-825-2127, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And again, thank you, Randy, very much for being here for Winfield and also for the Hudgens.
Rick, thank you so much. My friend, I appreciate you having me on and giving us an opportunity to just chat and catch up and talk a little bit about business and the Hudgens.
That sounds great. Well, thank you again for joining us on Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. Remember, you can join us live every Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning, or you can listen to our show absolutely anytime you want by going to businessradiox.com, clicking on the Gwinnett Studio, and then click on Case in Point. Join us next week at 11:30 when we will talk with business leaders about their businesses and related security issues in today's world. Thanks again to my guest, Randy Winfield, and for our producers, Mike and Trey. I'm Rick Strawn, and remember, at Paradigm Security Services, we cover more than just your assets.